YouTube, welcome back to the Built on Boxes YouTube channel. My name is James White. I am the trucking lawyer, and I'm coming to you today, a little bit of a change of scenery from Kissimmee, Florida, where we've run away and basically tried to avoid the hustle and bustle of our regular lives for about a week so we can just kind of lay down here and do nothing. Just hang by the pool, sip some margaritas, and have a good time. Listen, I wanted to go over some numbers with you guys. As I've promised in previous videos, we had a big day come about last week in the trucking world, and that is when our authority hit 90 days active. We began our authority on February 25th, so that means that we just hit 90 days last week. Because February was a short month, I think it was like the 27th of May that we hit our 90-day authority. Now, I'm going to go over some numbers. They're big numbers. And this is sort of along the lines of why I talk about the things I talk about on my channel. Sometimes I get some negative comments from people because they think that I'm maybe negative or I'm a hater. I'm a realist. I think the real value in information is if you give the whole story. If you give a well-rounded view of the information. You know, if you just present gross, it can get people all twisted up in the wrong way. I'm going to give you a huge gross number here in a minute, and the net number is not going to be nearly as big as the gross number. And the reason is because you have a ton of expenses in trucking. And so I'm just going to go through what our gross was. I'm going to go through itemized each one of our expenses and then go through our miles driven and then give you an idea of what the net was. Listen, it's good, okay? I'm not going to lie. We didn't take our first load, even though our authority was active on February 25th. We didn't actually haul our first load until March 17th. And so really what you're seeing is you're going to see about 67, 65 days worth of activity, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to just go through the numbers real quick, give you guys an idea of what you can expect. Now, keep this in mind. I abandoned the box truck for now. Now, the peak season's starting to ramp up. Things are starting to change a little bit. I'm getting the idea that box trucks are going to be in more demand in my area sometime in the next few weeks. So I'm looking at maybe adding another box truck again. But right now, I haven't made that decision. And with the changes that Penske made to the rental program, because I'm on the Penske account, you can't get any new equipment under the old discount, and so that's going to change the figures. It's going to change the dynamic a little bit for what I'm looking to do. But look, we're growing. We're doing great. I appreciate you guys continuing to support us, and I'm just trying to tell the story as honestly and as openly as I possibly can. I'm not doing it for clicks and likes and all that stuff. I'm trying to help people, and that's what my goal is. So if you guys see my content and you don't agree with it, that's okay. Just don't disagree because you're a jerk, or don't disagree because you're stubborn and you have this, you know, most of the people who are disagreeing with me are just people who really don't have a clue. Like, anybody that's actually gone out here and done this knows that I'm telling the truth. And you'll see that reflected in the comments. People who have actually been there and know what I'm talking about and actually pay attention to what I'm saying actually know that I'm telling the truth. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the numbers real quick, and we're going to pull up our spreadsheet here, and I'm going to transition you guys over to my computer screen. Okay, so gross revenue, guys. This is I'm going to give you the gross revenue, and then I'm going to give you the total miles driven. So the gross revenue from March 17th until May 27th is $58,175.93. The miles driven were 23,540 miles total in that period. And that comes out to a all-in rate per mile of $2.47. Now, you got to keep in mind that we're running a semi. I have a driver, we're running a semi. These are not box truck numbers, these are semi numbers. So if it was just box truck, I think it would be substantially less than this. I think our average would be somewhere around $1.50 a mile if this was a box truck conversation, but it's not. This is mostly semi. Like I said, I broke even on the box truck stuff, so all this money came from semis. Now, from the gross, I use a factoring company, and so factoring costs a percentage of your invoices off the top. So 3% off the top is what it cost me to factor every penny of this. $58,175.93. I had a factoring expense of $1,689.36. I had fuel expense of $8,285.31. I had a equipment rental, and again, we rent our equipment. So if you guys are listening to this thinking, is it profitable to rent? Can you rent? I spent $10,457.13 on rental equipment, $6,539.39 on insurance, $13,750 is what I've paid my driver and roughly load boards and ELDs, I spend about $160. I spend about $80 a month. So 2 months worth of that is $160. Now, that gives me a net of $17,294.74. So keep in mind, this is from the perspective of a non-driving owner for one truck, okay? So $58,000 in, after expenses, $17,294.74. Now, again, if I was driving, one, my insurance would be cheaper. Two, I would have another $13,750 in my pocket because I wouldn't have to pay a driver. So if I was an owner-operator and it was just me running one truck, my net would be $31,044.74 for 2 months. So if you guys are thinking, can I rent? Can I make money? Is this worth it? Absolutely. It is absolutely worth it. However, you have to do it the right way. You have to. I don't think these numbers would be this big if I was a box truck driver. I think we're probably talking about $1.50 a mile for the same mileage. And then I think so you'll be looking at somewhere around $40,000 with probably the same fuel expense. You'd have a little bit less factoring expense. So I think you'd be looking at probably more like $10,000, $12,000 in your pocket. As opposed to 17. So I think it would be different. Now again, when I actually keep a box truck for a long enough 90-day period of time to go through these numbers, I'll actually come back to this and maybe do a different breakdown for that. But this is the breakdown. So again, $58,175.93 gross. Total expenses, $40,881.19. And if you take that from the $58,000 of gross, you come up with the figure of $17,294.74. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for continuing to support my content. I am out here just trying to help people. I'm not trying to be negative. This is the truth. I've never taken the approach, whether it's to relationships, whether it's to friendships, whether it's to business. I've never taken the approach that my job or function is to feed people a line of crap and confuse them and make them think that I'm something I'm not. My approach has always been, for anything that I do, to be as honest, brutally sometimes, with people as I possibly can and respect their intellectual capabilities enough to assume that they are smart enough to figure out how the truth works into their life. You're probably not going to like what I have to say sometimes, but I promise you I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of honesty. And if I say something that you don't want to hear and you later find out it's true, my hope is only that you will come back to this, the moment that you heard me say whatever it was that you didn't like, and say, okay, he was just being respectful of my intellect enough to assume that I could figure out how that information worked into my life. And if it helps somebody better prepare for this business, if it helps a single person not waste money, if it helps a single person who really isn't right for this business stay out and save money that they might lose, if it helps one person, it's worth making everybody mad. It's worth people disliking what I have to say. All of that stuff is worth it if I help just one person. And so that's my goal. That's my mission. I don't get paid for this. I abandoned a job where I charged people an hourly rate for my time. I abandoned the pursuit of that long term so that I could do this for free and help people. Now, obviously, I'd like to get monetized and I want to make some money. And I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say that right now, nobody pays me for my time. If you have emailed me, you know I respond. You know I take phone calls. You know I take emails. You know I respond and I give of myself freely. I don't hold back, and I don't big time people. So I really am here to help. And anything I can do to help you guys, I will. Keep in mind, nothing I say is legal advice. I'm not your lawyer. I am a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. And I'm not trying to create a lawyer-client relationship. But I really do appreciate you guys watching my content. I really appreciate you continuing to comment, like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. And man, this is getting awesome. We're going to be at 1,000 subscribers soon. Let's build this thing together, and I look forward to interacting with you guys down the road. Thank you so much. Enjoy your week. Hope you come off the holiday feeling refreshed and renewed. Make a lot of money. You guys have a great day.